Ambassador in Paris, The Reagan Years, by Evan G. Galbraith. To Bootsy, for her imagination, care, and hard work, both in Paris and on this book. Introduction, by William F. Buckley, Jr. Van Galbraith tells his story as one would expect him to do, animatedly and with conviction. By way of a preface to this book, I think back on the day in which he was sworn in at the Benjamin Franklin room of the State Department. It was November 13th, 1981. Secretary of State Alexander Haig was not in Washington, and so his deputy, William Clark, presided. Chief of Protocol Lee Annenberg swore him in. At that point, convention called for a personal friend, selected by the new ambassador, to make brief remarks. These serve here to say about the author of this book what he cannot say about himself without running the risk of insensibility. I said then, "I have been told that the ceremony here today, to the extent that I figure in it, is intended to be highly personal." This was said to me by no less than 3 State Department officials, from which I deduced that there was active concern in these parts that I might take the occasion to recite my Weltanschauung. Well, if it is to be personal history, so be it. Back in 1947, it happened that I won the only election I ever won, to the chairmanship of the Yale Daily News. We moved, a few of us, to the nearest watering hole, which was Deke Fraternity House, and there a blond, heavy-set fellow sophomore accosted me to ask, with what I came to know as characteristic curiosity and ebullience, just what was the hilarity all about. It is something of a poetical miracle that exactly 35 years later I should be involved in a situation that calls for at least as much hilarity. It happens that in June a year and a half ago, when the President was still only a candidate for the Republican nomination, Van and I were together, as I am happy to say we have often been together, on a sailboat. I have in mind a conversation we had about 200 miles south of Bermuda, heading first for that island, then on to the Azores, then on to Spain. There were 6 of us doing the sailing and the navigating. The day was blue, the wind brisk. We were an entire happy day removed from a sloppy and emetic little storm that had dogged us for 48 hours. We were eating lunch, and one of our company, Dick Clurman, former head of correspondence for Time Life, and former Commissioner of Parks and Cultural Affairs in New York City, was arguing the nobility and inspiration of public service. As I remember, I was somewhat skeptical, adhering to a rather...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?